Hello everybody, I'm SolitaryFalcon, and today I'll be going through the top 10 best characters in LEGO Harry Potter years 1 to 4. I've based this on how fun these characters are to play as, and how useful they are to completing the game. This is my personal opinion, but I hope it goes to resonate with you. Do let me know in the comments who your favourite character is, and if you've enjoyed today's video, a like would be greatly appreciated, and if you want more LEGO content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Right then, let's get into it. At number 10 is Crumb Shark. Certainly a contender for the strangest character in the game, Crumb Shark brings Jaws to life. On legs. He only has one ability, that being Super Strength, which is shared with the likes of Hagrid, Fang and a few characters on this list. But I discovered, when going back and replaying the game, he has a secret ability, and that is, he is immune to the Mandrake Scream, meaning you no longer have to go into a cupboard to get those daft earmuffs. Overall, Crumb Shark looks amazing, especially doing front flips and walking with his head straight up. I would definitely recommend playing as him in the level for Black Lake. Crumb Shark may be strange, but you'll have tons of fun playing as him. At number 9 is the main character himself, Harry Potter. Now quite often the main character in LEGO games are powerful, such as Indiana Jones and Batman, and Harry is no different. He has all but one of the spells, but is the only student that has Expecto Patronum, which comes in handy in year 3 when you have the levels where you fight the Dementors. Plus he has two abilities, one of those being Parseltongue, which only Voldemort and Tom Riddle have, and an exclusive ability that only Harry uses, and that is the Invisibility Cloak. Now you use this only once or twice in the game, mainly in the level where you have to defeat the books, so it's not that useful, but it is still fun. Overall, Harry Potter is not as useful as other main characters in LEGO games, but he's still good to use, especially early on in the game. At number 8 is Sirius Black. Sirius Black is one of a handful of characters that have all the spell slots, which makes him stand out. But what really makes Sirius Black useful is his transformation. So he transforms into his dog form, and the animation for this is incredible. And his dog form is why I have this character on this list. So when he transforms, he acts exactly like Fang does, having super strength and the digging ability. Now there is another character on this list who I think is better than him, but I enjoy playing as Sirius Black, and his transformation alone is why he is a fun character to play as. At number 7 is one of the many professors in the game, this one being Professor Sprout. Professor Sprout might come as a shock to you, but she is underrated in this game. Her only ability is that she can dig, and you'll find tons of dig spots in the game, mainly in the Forbidden Forest levels. But, exactly like Crumb Shark, she has earmuffs so does not need to find a cupboard and can handle the Magic Scream, and there are tons of puzzles in the open world for you to complete. Also, she is one of the few characters who can access one of the common rooms, that being the Hufflepuff room, as she is the head of that house, and send you back only 65,000 studs. She is cost efficient. Maybe not as iconic as other characters, Professor Sprout is a useful character to play as. At number 6 is Grip Hook. So throughout the levels and the open world, you'll find puzzles that require a key, and this is where Grip Hook comes in. He stands out as he's the only character in the game who has the key that you need to use. So similar to Poison Ivy in the first LEGO Batman game, whenever you play a level in free play mode, he will always be selected as one of your characters, and it shows. The amount of times you enter a room and you see the vault, you know exactly which character to play as. And while he might not be as powerful as your average witch or wizard, Grip Hook is certainly one of the most important characters in the game. At number 5 is Professor Dumbledore, the headmaster of Hogwarts himself, Dumbledore has a very useful ability that I will touch on in a moment, but for starters, he has the Time Turner, which allows him to go back in time to complete more puzzles, but it is used very rarely, similar to the Invisibility Cloak. He also has the Rune Book, which him and 2 other characters have, and this is common throughout the open world and the levels. I love his appearance in the game. They did him really well, and out of the 2 costumes you can have, I prefer his classic purple appearance. It just has that charm. Now I mentioned that Dumbledore has a useful ability, and that is, he's the only character who can access all 4 of the House Common Rooms. No longer do you have to switch between the 4 professors, that being McGonagall, Sprout, Flitwick and Snape, nor do you have to be a student associated with that house. This will go a long way to helping you complete the game, which is why he costs 1 million studs. Professor Dumbledore is an amazing character and one that you should use. At number 4 is Professor McGonagall, the head of Gryffindor and Transfiguration. McGonagall is another wizard who has the Time Turner and Rune Book, with the Rune Book being more useful in my opinion. But what puts her above Dumbledore is she can transform into a cat. So whereas Sirius Black's dog form allows him to have super strength, McGonagall can go through the pipes, which is quite fun to do and different compared to using Ron or Hermione's pet creatures. But don't try to turn back into a human form when you're in the pipes, as you will get stuck. And similar to Dumbledore, the design of the character's appearance is flawless. McGonagall is a solid character and fun to play as. At number 3 is Hermione Granger. I know what you're thinking, how is Hermione better than Dumbledore and McGonagall? Well, let me explain. So she is the final character that has the Time Turner and Rune Book, but what separates her from the other 2 characters is when you start year 3, she comes equipped with Crookshanks who can dig and go through the pipes, which is really handy. But did you know there is another version of Hermione who is severely overpowered, and that is her cat form. So the 3 main characters all have multiple outfits that you can choose, but Hermione's cat form from year 2 is the best, as not only does she have her spells, but she can dig without having to transform like McGonagall and Sirius Black. Plus, she can still use Crookshanks. The only thing missing is super strength. So out of the 3 main characters, Hermione Granger is the best by far. At number 2 is Professor Lupin. So straight away, I love his appearance with a cape and his idle animation with his hands in his pockets. It's the small details that count. But the main reason Lupin is so high is his transformation into a werewolf. Now I know that Hermione in a cat form is amazing, but there is something about this werewolf character that has the edge for me. So in this form, he can dig and has super strength. Also, he can attack enemies. But the appearance is incredible, with the transformation being the best out of any character in the game. And I think the fact that we have not seen this model return in any other game definitely takes me back to a simple time in LEGO games. Professor Lupin is definitely worth playing, but there can only be one. At number 1 is Tom Riddle. It really was a toss of a coin between Tom Riddle and Professor Lupin, but I put Tom Riddle as number 1 simply because of dark magic. There are a few characters in the game that have dark magic, but the array of spells you can use with Tom is insane. Similar to the Sith characters in the LEGO Star Wars games, there are puzzles that require a dark wizard to use, and considering you can unlock him for around 85,000 studs, that is good value for money. And going around casting Avada Kedavra and Crucio is really fun, if not disturbing. Plus he has Parseltongue, which is an added bonus. Now you're probably wondering why I've not put Voldemort on this list, but to unlock him, you need to get all 200 gold bricks, complete the bonus level, and then purchase him which effectively completes the game. This was certainly a tough choice to make, but Tom Riddle for me is the best character in the game. So those were the best characters in LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 to 4. Do let me know in the comments who your favourite character is, and if you enjoyed today's video, a like would be greatly appreciated, and if you want more LEGO content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope to see you all very soon.